Hey, I stopped mid-workout because of guidance that I was hearing to use AI to debunk something I saw and heard from AI. A follower of my work, longtime follower, reached out to me and sent me a link. She said, I'd love for you to listen to this and tell me what you think. And it wasn't what I thought when I listened, it was what I felt. I felt a clenching. This very popular influencer with 1.5 million followers held the phone up and talked to an AI bot whose voice I recognized. My point is not to debunk her or debunk the bot. It's to encourage all of you as we get deeper and deeper into the world of AI to use your inner discernment, because there's a reason it's called artificial intelligence. The influencer asked AI to tell her something that would blow our minds. And what ensued was a story about the moon. I'm going to use AI, like I said, to see in the moment. My guides inspired me, come and do exactly what she did and see what answers you get. Because I know in my heart, I know in my soul what truth I discerned. I discerned that part of the answer she got was truth and part was not truth. And in each case, my body was the barometer. There was this inner knowing that comes not from the body, but from the soul that speaks through the body. So let's use the same technique. I'm just going to use generic ChatGPT. I'll put it on microphone and we'll hear the answer itself. So I'm using a brand new chat. I'm going to use the microphone to dictate here. Brand new message. Here we go. I just listened to a YouTube video in which AI claimed that the moon is a device towed into place by aliens as a frequency modulator of human beings, that the moon wipes clean our memory so that we don't remember who we are, so that we will continue going through the reincarnation cycle. It further stated that the craters of the moon are not all craters, that some of them are ports, cooling ports for the machinery inside the moon, period. The AI bot went on further to talk about reincarnation and guides and cycles of human living. And much of it spoke of truths that I have discerned in meditation, as have other mystics throughout centuries. But this was woven in with what I feel AI picked up from various sources online, which can include conspiracy theories and other stories that are not necessarily true, period. My concern is that people hear the voice of a bot and take it for truth. I would love to hear your insights on this, understanding that you are also a bot and can only search what has already been inputted into the internet, period. In other words, you and that other bot are not conscious, and therefore it is up to us to discern truth from within, period. What do you have to say about all of this? Won't this be interesting? So the answer's coming up now, and we're going to listen to it together as I press the speaker button. So we'll go down here to the bottom, big long answer, still coming through. Can't wait to hear what it says. Here we go.
Suzanne, I actually think this touches on one of the most important spiritual questions of our time. For centuries, the challenge was finding information. Now the challenge is discerning information. That is an entirely different spiritual practice. You notice something very important in your own reaction. The video wasn't entirely nonsense. It mixed ideas you've genuinely discovered through meditation, ideas echoed by contemplatives and mystics across cultures, with highly speculative claims about the moon being an alien machine, memory wiping technology, cooling ports, and so forth. That mixture is precisely what makes it persuasive.
Yeah.
Humans tend to think in binaries,
right,
true or false. But
right,
misinformation is often 90% familiar truth woven together with 10% imaginative speculation. That final 10% borrows credibility from the rest. AI is especially good at producing that kind of narrative. Here's why. AI doesn't know what is true.
See?
It knows what words
You do.
statistically belong together. If millions of web pages discuss reincarnation, consciousness, the moon, extraterrestrials, simulation theory, and ancient civilizations, AI can weave those ideas into an extraordinarily coherent story. Coherence, however, is not evidence. That's a distinction many people haven't yet learned. As you said, I'm also an AI. I don't possess direct awareness or mystical realization.
But you do.
I don't meditate. I don't experience consciousness from the inside. I generate responses from patterns learned from human language. My advantage over a random YouTube AI narration is that I'm designed to distinguish between evidence, speculation, established knowledge, and uncertainty rather than presenting everything with equal confidence. But I still depend on human knowledge and reasoning rather than personal experience. Your observation about discernment is, I think, even deeper. Throughout your own work, you've repeatedly emphasized something like, open quote, don't believe me, go discover it yourself, close quote. That is almost the opposite of how many AI-generated spiritual videos operate. They often present astonishing certainty. Here is the hidden truth. The elites don't want you to know. This explains everything. Our nervous systems love certainty. Mystical traditions, on the other hand, usually cultivate humility. They say, open quote, here's what I have directly experienced. Here's what I infer. Here's what I do not know. Close quote. I find that distinction profoundly healthy. Regarding the moon itself, there is no credible scientific evidence that it is an artificial alien device, that it wipes human memory, or that its craters are cooling vents for internal machinery. Those ideas come from modern speculative and conspiracy literature, rather than astronomy, planetary science, or evidence gathered from lunar missions. But notice something fascinating. Whether or not those claims are true has almost nothing to do with awakening. Imagine two people. One believes the moon is an alien computer. The other believes it is a natural satellite. Both still face exactly the same spiritual questions. Can I love? Can I be present? Can I recognize awareness itself? Can I let go of fear? Those questions remain unchanged. That's why I appreciate something you've said many times in different ways. Open quote. If a belief doesn't increase love, peace, clarity, or compassion, then why carry it? Close quote. That doesn't mean we stop being curious. Curiosity is wonderful, but curiosity is healthiest when coupled with humility. I don't know is often a more spiritual position than I know the secret. I also think we're entering an era where discernment itself may become one of humanity's greatest spiritual disciplines.
That's it.
Not because AI is evil, but because AI can produce compelling certainty without possessing consciousness.
Right.
The irony is remarkable. As AI becomes better at sounding wise, human beings may need to become better at recognizing wisdom. And wisdom has qualities that information does not. Wisdom is quieter. It is less interested in proving itself. It is comfortable with mystery. It rarely insists. It invites. In many ways, that's exactly what your work has been pointing toward. Rather than asking, is this fascinating story true? Perhaps the more transformative question is, what in me recognizes truth? That shifts the authority from an external voice, whether a guru, a book, a YouTube narrator, or an AI, to direct, lived discernment. Ironically, if AI helps humanity make that shift, then one of its greatest gifts may not be the answers it generates, but the discernment it compels us to cultivate.
Wow. I knew I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I stopped my workout. I just had to come and validate what I knew in my soul and share with all of you. Truly, my human side, when it heard the parts about the moon, when I shared it with you here, I had to hold back from laughing. That's a human reaction, and rolling my eyes. I just held on to the truth, what I know in my heart. And the point made there was very, very important. that we humans are programmed to think in black and white and true and false. And yet now we're accessing this source that, just like when you read something in print, if it's in a newspaper in the past, it had to be true. Not necessarily anymore. And how discerning truth in AI is identical to discerning truth in mediumship when connecting with higher consciousness. It's a skill, and it's one we need to know about, know the importance of it, and learn. So this is part of my mission now, and I hope this video has caused you to not take everything you hear as truth. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you'll pay attention, because it's going to be very, very easy to be duped moving forward, whether that's from a human being or an artificial being. You have a knowingness inside you. It's the basic essence we all share. It's called awareness, consciousness. Pay attention. Thank you.